What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. OG here, and I really do feel bad for eFootball players. But on the other hand, it's like, how could they not see this? And I was waiting. I was patiently waiting, and I was going to do maybe more of a reaction video on others talking about what I'm about to talk about because it's so obvious. But no one said a word about it. It's kind of like those glitch L1 square headers that, you could send your Neymar, your Messi, whoever up, and they're going to win headers over the biggest, the best center backs despite having terrible heading. And no one's talking about that. The fact that it was in the game before the big update and it's still in the game now, among other nonsense that Konami didn't address or nerf or, of course, not remove. But not one person has talked about link-up play and the fact that it is a total scam. So let me break it down for you. Konami wants you to buy players. That's how they keep getting richer and richer and richer. The amount of money they make in eFootball simply off of the players being bought is outrageous. And it seems that the name of the game is do the least amount of work even within the players that they're selling you, and just take your money, make the most money, right? Which is not a bad business model for them, but for the players who put a lot into this game, not just money-wise, but time, effort, and want to play football, you're getting totally ripped off. And so link-up play, I called this months ago, right? They have to find a way to take these players that they keep releasing and releasing and releasing and get you to keep buying them. So my guess was, they're going to add like more Showtime skills. Sure enough, that's what they did. Next, they'll add boosters, right? Or they'll make each booster like a super booster worth more. I already talked about that in a previous video, so I won't go into it. But you already see now they have like this Chelsea pack they just released last night. It's 2 players with double Showtime skills, 1 player with 1 Showtime skill. Instead of 2 players with a Showtime skill, 1 with no Showtime skill. So, now we're going to spend money on those players because this Drogba has another Showtime skill. And maybe even a couple extra, points across his attributes. However, link-up play is a far bigger scam. Let me explain why. 2 players. It takes 2 players to do this essentially animation in the game that takes more away from the players making the plays in the pitch and the skill gap needed to succeed. Basically, like for instance, you have a long diagonal ball that this player can play to another player. And what it means is when you play that pass, the defender won't be able to defend the pass, right? That's all it is. You can see it when you turn on Smart Assist. When you make certain passes, it essentially renders the defenders unable to defend everything. Same with that ground cross, right? The defender's doing their job. You're fronting the attacker. Next thing you know, the attacker, because of the AI, by the way, not because the player took the attacker and moved him around the defender, but the ball will be played across. You'll control the defender, perfect positioning, and the AI will zip that attacker right around you and finish the ball off, and there's nothing you can do about it because, he had hard cross pass A in link-up play, or your defender couldn't intercept a certain pass across the pitch diagonally because Schneider has ground assist pass A, B, D to this player, Samuel Eto'o, and it's a goal every time. It's a joke. But of course, when you use it, it's going to look cool and it's going to look like you made this great pass, even though it should have been intercepted. And for some reason, players aren't talking about this. Not only that, that's not even the biggest scam part, right? That's just par for the course now. All the AI crap that Konami's putting in the game to blur the lines of skill gap between 2 players to make it just a computer versus computer fest instead of a player versus player. But the real scam is in the fact that now you go to buy players, you do the gamble aspect, which is it's fun, don't get me wrong, and you always want to be that player that packs players early, and if you've watched my channel, I've gotten a lot of great early packings, and I'm still telling you, it's a complete gambling system, a complete ripoff. And now, if and when you get 1 player, you're not going to be satisfied because you got to get the link-up play, right? So you can't only get Samuel Eto'o, you need Schneider. You can't get only, let's say they weren't free players, Diego Dalot, you have to get Xerxes. You can't only get this player, you have to get that player. It is the biggest scam ever, because now when they take $80, let's say, from you, and you get one player and say, nope, not spending anymore, man. I got my Samuel Eto'o. I wish I didn't have to spend as much, but I got him. Now you have to say, man, 80 in already, and I only got Eto'o. I need to get Schneider. Maybe you put another 40 in and you get Vinny. Oh, but I don't got his link-up partner. I need their link-up partners. So now you spend more money. My boy Phil found someone who put, I think it was like $190 in to clear out the pack. Why? Because you had to get the link-up play, right? You can't only get one of each now. You can't only have one side of the link-up, then you can't use it. That was the goal. Create a way, and that's always going to be the goal in eFootball, because that's what the path they chose to go down. Create a way to get you to keep buying players. The same players over and over and over again. Right? Add a Showtime skill. Make this link-up play where they feel like they have to get both. So now instead of getting $50 from them, we'll get $100 so they keep spinning to get the other player. Guys, if you're part of eFootball, you got to wake up. I keep telling you, EA Sports did this for years. FC players took forever. They used to have the same mindset of, if you look at the eFootball player base as a whole, they used to have the same mindset. Oh, they're not going to listen anyway. Let's just keep playing. Oh, well, I'll put money in, no big deal, which I did too. I get it. But it doesn't mean you can't speak up about what's going on. It doesn't mean you can't boycott the game as a whole. Whatever you need to do. Because what's going to end up happening is everyone's going to leave this trash game anyway. And then guess what? Finally, Konami's going to realize everything and wake up, and they'll make changes then. But I'm trying to help you out here because FC players had to wait years, right? Until finally everyone woke up. eFootball is going in the same direction, and the eFootball players have a chance to see what happened over at FC and actually start making the changes now, or at least putting their foot forward to force Konami to make the changes. So I'll end with this. Who has the money has the power. And you might say, well, Konami's so rich, obviously they have the power. Only because you give it to them. That's a unique situation here. It's not like Konami and EA Sports are just so rich and we have to go by what they say because we're just a bunch of little peons. We give them the money that makes them rich. As soon as that stops, they have to listen, just like EA Sports did and made an entire iteration, FC26, based around player feedback, which they've never done in the past. Because we have the money and we choose to give it to them. Therefore, we actually, as the player base as a whole, have the power. Now, I'm just a small little content creator, so most likely not enough people will hear this, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to do my part and try to spread what needs to be spread. I'm not judging anybody that chooses to buy players. I have a team full of players that I put money into, and this is a second account. I already put a bunch of money into players from another account, and I'm not even playing eFootball on that level anymore, right? I'm fully committed to FC 26. However, I'm still a person that has a history with PES and that wants to see all football games succeed because that actually helps all football games out. It forces these developers to then be on their A game and actually give us a good product because we could always leave and go to the other game. So I'm still rooting for eFootball. I still play it, just not nearly as much as I would have if Konami didn't just totally butcher the game. And I wish nothing but the best for this. So, let me know what you think. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my memberships, both YouTube and Discord, if you're interested in getting the most help you can get that will put you on the front foot for FC26 and beyond. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.